esteemed guests, delegates, and participants. We begin with welcoming our dignitaries to the dais. We begin with welcoming our dignitaries to the dais. Election Commissioner of India. We have Shri Gyanesh Kumar. Our Chief Election Commissioner of India. Dr. Gyanesh Kumar. Election Commissioner. Dr. Vivek Joshi. And all the delegates from more than 40 election management bodies, heads of election management bodies, distinguished officers of Election Commission of India, chief electoral officers of all states, UTs, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the formal closing session of India International Conference on Democracy and Election Management. To begin the session, may I now kindly request Director General IIIDEM, Shri Rakesh Kumar Verma, to brief the conference proceedings through the presentation. Sir, over to you.
Honorable Chief Election Commissioner, Shri Gyanesh Kumar ji, Honorable Election Commissioner, Dr. S.S. Sandhu ji, Honorable Election Commissioner, Dr. Vivek Joshi ji, heads of election management bodies, representatives of election management bodies, my colleagues from Election Commission of India and Chief Electoral Officers, members from media. I would like to briefly present the proceedings of the conference. Given the large number of sessions and 3 days of deliberations, a final report will definitely be prepared and will be circulated to all election management bodies. This is just to give a glimpse of what happened over a period of 3 days. So the conference had participation of 43 election management bodies, around 103 foreign delegates. We had 27 missions in India joining us and around 42 bilateral meetings. Apart from this, we had a large number of domestic stakeholders led by our chief electoral officers, our master trainers, and also participation from a large number of reputed national institutions. The conference began with the reception where we received heads of delegation by the Election Commission of India. Then we had the inaugural session. That inaugural session set out the vision for the conference and particularly India's chairship priorities, which was followed by EMB leaders plenary where all the heads of EMBs had time and opportunity to share their vision and insights. Then we had a day of number of thematic sessions and a large number of topics were discussed. And as I said, the proceedings and the conference will be issued in due course. But we saw the participation of most of election management bodies in one session or the other. We also had International IDEA lead a number of sessions, around 7 of them. And we had experts from International IDEA to contribute to the thematic discussion. We also had a gala dinner cultural evening at Sundar Nursery, and I'm sure the guests enjoyed that ambience and the dinner. Next day, we had EMB working group meeting where we dealt a little more details about thematic priorities, the methodology, and how are we going to accomplish our thematic work. We had launch of ECI Net, that integrated technology platform. We had large number of bilateral meetings. Almost every EMB which was attending this had a meeting with the commission. We also had EVM demonstration. That's one of the offerings that India has, and all the delegates had the opportunity to have hands-on experience on EVM. The day 2 again had large number of 14 thematic sessions where various aspects of international standards that we are working on. The best practices were deliberated. We had another opportunity to assemble in the evening for gala dinner at the Ashoka Hotel. And day 3 had the remaining thematic session. And as we attend this closing function, we've completed all our thematic sessions. And we had bilateral meetings today also with the remaining election management bodies. So this is in brief the conference proceedings, and as I said, we will circulate the detailed conference proceedings, which will give you full idea of what deliberations were held, and we hope to continue our thematic work right earnest after this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the details. As it is evident from the presentation also, IICDEM 2026 was designed as a platform for not just dialogue, but for collaboration, a forum where election management bodies can build a shared understanding of contemporary challenges, exchange best practices and innovations, and co-create real solutions. We now move on to the remarks by our Honorable Commission. So I would now invite Dr. Vivek Joshi, Honorable Election Commissioner, to kindly share his thoughts with this august gathering. Sir.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Election Commissioner of India, Shri Ganesh Kumarji, my colleague, Dr. Sandhu, Election Commissioner, distinguished delegates, colleagues, and friends. As we conclude this conference, it is an appropriate moment to pause and take stock of what these 3 days have offered us. My colleague, Shri Rakesh Kumar, DG IIIDM, has very briefly given the overview of the conference. This conference has created a space for election administrators and practitioners to step away from their immediate operational pressures and reflect on how elections are planned, delivered, and sustained over time. One message that has clearly emerged is that elections succeed not because of a single movement, but because of the systems that work quietly and steadily in the background. Much of the election administration involves advanced planning, coordination across institutions, and attention to details, that is from voter list maintenance and logistics planning to staff deployment and communication arrangements. When these elements are aligned, elections become predictable and manageable, both for administrators and voters. Our discussions have also highlighted how the context of election management continues to evolve. The population mobility, changing information habits, and rising expectations place new demands on election management bodies. Citizens increasingly expect more clarity, more efficiency, and consistency. These expectations are reasonable, and they encourage us to review our procedures, simplify processes, and strengthen service delivery while maintaining legal certainty. Technology, especially the artificial intelligence, has also featured prominently in these conversations, not as a solution in itself, but as an administrative tool that must be used with care. Digital systems can improve accuracy, planning, and outreach, but they also require safeguards, transparency, and public understanding. The launch session of ECNet by ECI has specifically been the standpoint for Indian technological advancement and has brought together the importance accorded by the Election Commission of India to the technology, reinforcing the importance of measured adoption of technology, ensuring that technology supports trust rather than replacing it. Another important takeaway from this conference has been the emphasis on preparedness. Elections are conducted in environments that are not always predictable. Weather conditions, logistical challenge, misinformation, or legal challenges can place pressure on the election process. Managing these uncertainties requires advanced planning, trained manpower, and institutional coordination. Preparedness does not eliminate risk, but it reduces the disruption and helps maintain stability. At the heart of election administration are the people or the voters. Election officials, the technical teams, the field staff, and volunteers, all of them carry responsibilities that require judgment, adaptability, and professionalism. The strong participation of senior officials and practitioners in this conference reflects a shared understanding that learning from experience, including from challenges, is essential to improve future practice. Comparative exchange has been one of the strengths of this gathering. Although election management bodies operate under different legal and political frameworks, many operational challenges are similar. Sharing practical approaches helps reduce duplication of efforts and supports gradual improvement across systems. As we bring this conference to a close, I hope the discussions held here will translate into incremental, practical changes in our respective institutions. Elections are a central democratic function, but they are also public service that depend on reliability, consistency, and administrative discipline. In the end, I thank all the delegates, speakers, organizers, and partners for their thoughtful engagement and contribution to the success of IICDEM 2026. I wish you safe travel back home and continued professional exchange in the months ahead. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for those important reflections, which I believe would be shared by all present in the hall right now. We now move on to Dr. S.S. Sandhu, Election Commissioner of India. Sir, kindly address the gathering. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Election Commissioner of India, Shri Ganesh Kumar Ji, Honorable Election Commissioner Dr. Joshi, DG Triple IDM, Honorable Heads and Members of EMBs, esteemed delegates, Chief Electoral Officers of various states of India, colleagues from ECI, experts, friends from media, and ladies and gentlemen. As we come to the close of these 3 enriching days, we do so not with a sense of conclusion, but with a renewed sense of responsibility. Over the past 3 days, we have brought together institutions that may differ in legal systems, cultures, and electoral models, but are united by a common democratic commitment to protect the integrity of the vote and the trust of the voter. We have discussed challenges, both timeless and contemporary, like credibility, transparency, inclusiveness, technology, misinformation, and institutional independence, apart from many more. What has stood out throughout the deliberation is a shared recognition that elections are not merely administrative exercises, they are acts of public faith. Every ballot cast carries with it a citizen's trust that the system will be fair and impartial. This conference has reaffirmed an important truth that democracy does not sustain itself. It must be consciously designed, carefully managed, and constantly defended. And election management bodies stand at the very heart of this responsibility. Our exchanges, whether in plenary session, technical discussions, or informal conversations, have highlighted the immense value of cooperation among the AMBs. In a world where democratic processes face increasing complexity and scrutiny, no institution benefits from working in isolation. Shared learnings, peer support, and international solidarity are no longer optional, they are very much essential. Equally significant has been the spirit in which these conversations took place. The openness, mutual respect, and willingness to learn from each other reflect the maturity and the professionalism of the global electoral community. As we return to our respective countries and institutions, we carry with us not just the reports and the recommendations, but something far more enduring. That is, we strengthened professional bonds, we renewed confidence in our shared mission, and a deeper appreciation of the global dimension of electoral integrity. Let us keep remembering that the credibility of the elections rest on institutional independence, ethical leadership, transparency, and above all, public trust. I am sure the conversations initiated here will continue beyond this conference. Collaborations will deepen, innovations will be shared, and democratic resilience will be collectively strengthened. With these few words and high hopes, I conclude my remarks. Thank you very much and wish you safe journey back home.
Thank you, sir, for your address and for underlining the institutional priorities that would guide meaningful electoral strengthening in this rapidly changing and evolving global environment. We now have the honor of inviting the Chief Election Commissioner of India, Shri Gyanesh Kumar, to kindly deliver his keynote address to the gathering. Sir, we are eager to hear you.
Honorable Election Commissioner, Dr. Sukhbir Singh Sandhu ji, Honorable Election Commissioner, Dr. Vivek Joshi ji, Chief Election Commissioners and Election Commissioners from 43 election management bodies of vibrant democracies in the world, around 27 participants from heads of missions, including ambassadors and commissioners from their respective countries in Delhi, chief electoral officers of Indian states and union territories, the experts drawn out from Indian Institute of Technologies, Indian Institute of Management, national law universities, practicing lawyers, perception experts, and my friends from the media. Ladies and gentlemen, all good things have to come to a close. And eventually, after an eventful 2.5 days, we are meeting here to decide to give ourselves a pause and meet again as early as possible. As you all would recollect, during the plenary session we had a day before yesterday, all electoral management bodies, the electoral commissions, had highlighted the strengths of democracy, the challenges which the democracies face and the methodologies to address these challenges. I hope that the thematic sessions were very useful to each one of you, and there is a lot of learning which each one of us is taking back from this India International Conference on Democracy and Election Management 2026. As you all would recollect, I would like to summarize the views which all of you had expressed either in the plenary or in the bilaterals or in the thematic sessions. Our team has worked very closely with each one of you. And the summary of these points comes out in 5 pillars. The first pillar being about the purity of electoral rolls. Pure electoral rolls containing names of all eligible electors as per law are the foundation of any democracy. The election management bodies should strive to provide photo identity cards to all electors for easy and transparent conduct of elections. Pillar 2, conduct of elections. Elections have to be participative and inclusive and involve all stakeholders at all levels. For the conduct of elections to be transparent, efficient, free and fair, it is inevitable for the election management bodies to function as per the mandate laid down in their constitution or in their respective laws. Pillar 3, research and publications. The conference resolved to bring out Encyclopedia of Democracies of the World, which shall comprise of an atlas, a comprehensive compilation on how the electoral systems work in different countries, and as approved by the respective election management bodies. The conference also resolved that there should be elaborate reports on the 7 themes which are being led by International IDEA. The conference also resolved that report on 36 themes which are being led by India International Institute of Democracy and Election Management to be prepared comprehensively. Pillar 4, the use of technology. Election management bodies would try and adopt latest technologies while ensuring the integrity of elections as mandated by law to facilitate the electors and proactively counter misinformation. Considering the request of electoral management bodies, India is willing to share its experience of the digital platform ECI Net for co-development of a similar platform for any other election management body in accordance with their laws and in their language. Pillar 5, training and capacity building. Considering the interest shown by electoral management bodies, India is willing to share its vast experience in the field of elections in all sectors through training and exchange of its transparent practices. Further, considering the interest shown by the electoral management bodies, the India International Institute for Democracy and Election Management, IIIDM, the world's largest training institute for election and democracy, which has an experience of training more than 10,000 election staff from India and personnel for more than 100 countries since past 15 years, is willing to offer its training facilities to all election management bodies to the best of its capabilities to impart professionalism in the conduct of elections and preparation of electoral rolls. As we conclude, let all of us resolve to operationalize these 5 pillars through cooperation, innovation, and measurable actions, and to periodically review the progress. Before, we plan to meet once a year to review this progress, and the next date of meetings are being proposed as 3rd, 4th, and 5th of December 2026 at IIIDM, New Delhi, India. If all of you agree, all the electoral management bodies and the participants, if all of you agree, you can say ayes. If anyone who does not agree can say noes. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The resolution is passed. With these little words, let us continue our bilaterals and our multilaterals, not only by way of just international conferences, but bilateral visits. And as mentioned in our bilateral meetings to all our respected electoral management bodies, India will be willing to have the exchange programs of electoral staff from your countries and as well as our countries. India will also be willing to share its technology in all sectors of the electoral process with each one of you present here. And with these little words, we hope that our teams led by DG IIIDM, Mr. Rakesh Verma, whom all of us should give a big hand for organizing this conference in one of the most flawless manner and one of the most memorable manner. And of course, to each one of the chief electoral officers of 36 states and union territories of India who have worked very closely with you. Please give them a big hand. And of course, the experts, the academia, the legal experts, the perception experts, the management gurus, the technological and logical experts, give them a big hand also. And before we close this ceremony, all good things have to come to an end, but end is the beginning. And let us start our strategic partnership with much, much more range and depth. With these little words, thank you all, gentlemen. Thank you. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.